Hello guys, we are excited to be back again for one of our wellness vlogs with our favourite nutritionist, Maria Harpas from Natural Health Medicine.
Thank you again. Thank you so
Welcome
much for
back.
having me again.
Thanks for driving all the way up to the Adelaide Hills to be with us.
Beautiful drive, beautiful drive. Yeah.
We've really been enjoying doing these, and you are full of so much knowledge, and we are very, very grateful.
Yes, thank you. I'm grateful to
welcome.
everyone too for writing in and letting us know your questions and Maria will do her best to answer those.
Yes.
First one I'm going to ask because it's quite relevant to me and my family. You know, we're in the wellness, industry. My husband, and he's really into fasting, and I don't. We did have a question, about should I fast? And who is it for? How do I do it? So, and I was curious, do I jump on this trend and fast as well, or could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research for fasting. It's actually an old traditional naturopathic thing to do. I think in the 70s they were fasting people for days and days.
Wow.
For therapeutic purposes.
I thought you were going to say for religious reasons.
Well,
My mum fasts for religious reasons.
Well, a lot of religions fast as well. So you sort of go back and, it's interesting. And then it went out of vogue, I think, when we decided that we needed to eat
every 3 hours and
yeah, that's right. So, and there's some really good benefits because it helps control blood sugar levels. It can help weight management for people as well. It gives the digestion a break as well when you're not eating. So that's good, and helps that microbiome that is needed for everything.
Yeah. So you say it helps regulate blood sugar levels, where I would have thought that eating regularly was good for that. So
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
So it's like all this conflicting stuff, you don't know which one to listen to.
Yeah, and it is definitely there's some individual issues, and there's people that shouldn't fast. But in terms of when you're checking blood, a lot of people just check their blood glucose levels, but really you need to look at insulin as well, because that's what you can't see. And it really does drop insulin levels, and insulin's a big cause of disease as well. So it's good, and it helps manage weight. But there is people that shouldn't fast, definitely, in pregnancy, and children, teenagers should not fast.
If you're underweight, I assume.
Yes, if you're underweight, no way. BMI someday, you shouldn't fast. But there's also some health conditions like people with Gilbert's syndrome, which is a inability to clear bilirubin that makes it worse, and gout is worse when you fast. So you have to be cautious around those things, and if you take medication you've got to be careful as well.
And I'm sure if you're fatigued, you
definitely that real adrenal fatigue, that where you're tired all the time, then we want you eating consistently throughout the day.
Yeah, because I heard about that one where you stop eating at a certain time. Actually, I think I heard about this from James. I think you stop eating, this is like maybe 2 years ago, he told me, at 6 p.m. and then you don't eat again until 10 or 11 a.m. And so you're sort of fasting overnight as opposed to fasting during the day, which I would find a lot easier.
And they normally say it's a 16-hour fast.
Oh, okay.
But you can start, with less time fasting, so you can, maybe do 12 hours and then go a bit higher if it's appropriate.
So why would you do it?
To help digestion. If you wanted to, if you want to control blood sugar levels. So there's some research that is, because we used to tell people when I first started to eat throughout the day all the time to help blood glucose and insulin levels, and now we've found out, no, that was wrong, like a lot of things in this industry. And then, but I saw a study where they got diabetics to eat just 2 large meals a day, and their blood sugar, insulin levels all improved. So
really, I like that because I feel like that's what I do. I'll have a massive dinner, and then I'll have what I call my brunch, and I usually have that around 10 or 11 and have a really big one then. And then wait.
You're not allowed to do it now, you're breastfeeding.
Now that I'm breastfeeding,
And children can't do it either, obviously.
No. And don't even, my 19-year-old, he plays sport and he's really into it, and he wanted to fast and do it. I said, no.
Yeah.
But whether he listens to me or not,
that's a whole other thing. So we also had another question, and I think it relates to a lot of people I've been talking to recently, is, you know, once you hit a certain age, whether that's 40, 45, metabolism starts slowing down a little bit. People are saying that they feel stuck and they can't lose that extra bit of weight that they've been wanting to shed for a while. Talk to us about that, because weight is a really interesting thing, isn't it? It's
so, I mean,
sensitive topic.
It is, isn't it? And it's normally because aesthetically we want to be a certain weight. But I think definitely in terms of disease and cardiovascular health and other chronic diseases, being agile, feeling like you can move around, you do want to have your weight at a normal level, and it does get harder as you get older. I can definitely state that. But you want to look at, you can actually, if you feel like you're doing all the right things, like that you're eating 3 good meals a day, and that you're not overdoing your calories, and that you're sleeping well, and exercising and doing all of that, and you're not shedding, then you should go off and check 4 main things that I say.
Okay.
Your insulin marker, insulin's one for sure, and blood glucose, because insulin can be really high even though your blood glucose looks normal. Inflammatory markers, so a CRP and an ESR should be checked, because that can contribute to
keeping the weight.
Cortisol levels, so your stress hormone. So you want to check that. And see where that is in the morning. You can do more exotic cortisol testing, but that's a good start. And your thyroid. And
of course,
And often the thyroid's not checked correctly, just a TSH is checked, but you need to go a bit deeper and check T3, T4 and your thyroid antibodies as well. And then you start to get a good idea of where the problems might be.
It's so funny because stress is an interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, it's so detrimental to our health. I think more and more studies are starting to show that. But some people, when they're stressed out, and this is what happens to me, I lose weight, and that is a problem for me. I'll get stressed, I'll be doing so much, and I end up losing weight and feeling really depleted. But then other people, their body reacts in a different way. So I also think it's important to mention to not be in a state of comparison too.
That's right.
And there are also some really beautiful documentaries. My friend Taryn Brumfitt, she has a great documentary called Embrace, and it's also about learning to cultivate self-love and embracing your body, but ensuring that you have a healthy relationship with food. So it is wonderful if you can learn to love the skin that you're in, your body. So many of us are lucky enough to be able-bodied. I think that's something that we have to really focus on. But also grateful for our health, but also knowing that if we're cultivating self-love, we have to fill our bodies with good, healthy food and make good choices.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't be like, I just love myself. Burgers, fries, ice cream.
That's right. No, it doesn't work. Little steps and you can make some good changes.
And that does tie in nicely with the next question we had, was around stress and anxiety. Sorry.
She's having anxiety reading the question.
From being on this video. How do you deal with it? If you could give us some steps on how to help that in our daily lives.
I think the first thing is getting some good routine. I think that's a big one with stress and anxiety. First, get your routine right so that you are eating well and it's consistent and sleeping well. But then also, I think we've talked about it on another video, thinking and accepting that life's got challenges, and so when you accept that, then you don't get so upset or stressed about it when they do come. Does that make sense?
Of course.
So I think that's really important. And again, it always comes back down to making sure that you sleep long, enough hours, and that you're exercising and looking after yourself, and don't try and fit too much in a day.
Yeah.
I always used to do that. I still do it sometimes.
Yeah. And actually, one interesting thing that I try and do for my anxiety is breathing, just slowing down that breath. In the moment, if I'm reacting at a kid or a mistake I made or whatever it is, just the traffic, just breathing, and that just helps change my state of mind.
That's
I
so
wish
important.
babies could learn to do that.
Self-regulate babies.
And being in the present, isn't it? It's being in the present and just being okay with now.
She is not okay.
No.
With now. I might have to pull her in a second. Okay, that's great. That's really handy, and I find like incorporating some positive things for your mental health, like yoga or meditation, slowing down, that helps reduce our anxiety and stress levels as well.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely challenging.
So I have allergies to grass, but I don't really have any. Yeah, I do. I don't have any food allergies per se, but so many people do. And do you think that it's imperative for people to be tested for allergies?
Yeah, I don't think everybody has to be tested for allergies, because allergies are different to food intolerances, and so we would test someone for allergies if they have symptoms like rashes, eczema, asthma, hay fever. They're your traditional allergy type symptoms. And then you want to sort of test, or even if you've got someone that is continually getting sick. We can't work out why.
Which is what happened with your situation with Lucia.
And going, okay, we need to check what's going on, and always check all the immune markers in that instance.
Where would you go to check and test for an allergy? Because when I went through that with Charlotte, of course, I came to you first, but then you have to be referred to specialists, which just all got so
difficult.
Yeah, so difficult.
Because with children, there's a bit of a duty of care, and so when we were working with the GP, she wasn't happy not to go to a specialist, so that's why we had to go down that route. But you can just get normal blood tests to check food. A doctor can do a food staple, so you can first see, is it food or is it airborne? So that's the start.
What about the poop one?
Yeah,
where you poop for like 3 days and then you have to send it off for the diagnostic testing. I've done that before.
There's a breath, there's a finger.
Well, they all give you different information, really.
Yeah.
It can be.
The poop spun was where I found out about my grass allergy, and funnily enough, garlic, but I ignored that one. I'm going to keep having
those tests normally tell you your microbiome and tell you if there's pathogens and parasites and things like that. But then there's the breath ones that tell you if you've got a lactose intolerance or a fructose intolerance, or SIBO, that's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where the bacteria go from the large intestine up into the small, and they're still fermenting, so they start to cause damage on the gut.
Sound nice.
Yeah.
But if you think you do have one or have any questions, Maria does a 15-minute free consultation. So,
more
give
info.
you a call. Exactly.
It's more individualised,
Well, thank you again.
Thank you so
for
much.
this insight and your beautiful wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are much better for it, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will see you next time.
Beautiful.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm like, oh my God.